What's up, guys? Robert Optimal Bodies. Now, if you've seen previous videos, then you will see that I have spoke about fruit before. But I'd like to reiterate the point and add a few new things that I've learnt over the years. And also any new followers, sometimes they don't go back and watch previous videos. So I'd just like to touch on fruit again, as it often comes up a lot, especially when I get new clients and I have to explain how fruit isn't that important and not something to worry about as much. So first of all, what is fruit? Fruit is basically full of fructose. So fructose meaning fruit sugar. It's also full of vitamins, minerals, and important nutrients, that's why it got labelled as something really healthy. And then this 5 a day started coming into play. But the problem is, fruit should be seen as just any sort of carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are all broken down into glucose before they can use by your cells, so it's all broken down to the same sugary end product. So there's nothing special about fruit in that sense, okay? So my top tip is see fruit as a treat, a dessert. I'm not saying cut it out completely, but I'd use it in periods where you're having carbohydrate feedings. And when you're going low carbohydrate, you can avoid fruit and know that it's not going to detriment your health. So let's look at the healthy side of fruit that people say. That's why people seem to go mental and they just can't fathom when I say you don't need fruit in your diet. The main reason you don't need fruit in your diet is if you're consuming enough vegetables or enough other food sources, meats, cheeses, things like that eggs that have these important vital minerals, nutrients, micronutrients, macronutrients, etc. So there's nothing from fruit that you can't get from vegetables. So when people say, oh yeah, but what about the vitamins and minerals? Well, if you're consuming the correct meats, and especially vegetables, then you're going to be getting those macronutrients, micronutrients, vitamins, the good part of fruit that people want, but without the excess sugar and fructose. So you can see a vegetable as a superfood, which is basically having your fruit without having the detrimental side. So you're getting all the positives without the negatives. So why is it a negative? Well, we've spoken this before, but if you're trying to lose weight, I do recommend a high fat, low carbohydrate diet and like moderate amount of protein, enough like maybe a gram per lean amount of pound body weight. So if you're say 150 pounds, once you've factored out your body fat, then 150 gram of protein a day divided amongst as many meals as is convenient for you is what I recommend. So, fruit. Do you need it? No. Can you have it? Yeah, sure, you can have it, but just factor in the carbohydrate amounts. And also factor in that if you're trying to lose weight and maybe someone's putting you on a diet, or because we watch all these adverts and what the government advise, that you're cramming in 5 pieces of fruit a day, so you might be having a couple with each meal, you might be having it in the morning, you might even be doing these smoothies that you cram 6 or 7 pieces in, or it's already made and it's all blended up. Just have a look at the sugar content of that. You'll be very surprised at what it's adding up to. And then I get these people say, but it's natural sugar. It doesn't matter. Sugar is sugar. The body responds to it in a very similar way. Your cells use it in a very similar way. It doesn't matter if it's natural. Because it occurs in nature doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. Not saying fruit's bad for you. There's a lot of very good things in fruit, but use it as a treat. See it as a piece of cheesecake. But I know it's hard to see an apple and a piece of cheesecake as very similar, but if you look at what's in them, like sugar, carbohydrate content, then you'll start to see that fruit, just see it as a big sugar ball, because that's the majority of what's in it. Yes, you get a decent amount of fibre, but you get that from vegetables. So if you're having trouble, I recommend cutting fruit out for a couple of weeks, keeping everything else the same, see what happens to your body composition, see if you get a little bit leaner, see if you lose a little bit of weight on the scales. You probably lose a little water retention as well if you're overdoing it on the carbohydrates. So I just wanted to hammer the point home that fruit is not the best thing to be having if you're looking for fat loss, because if you're consuming carbohydrates throughout the day, your body's not going to access its body fat stores. So if you're having fruit every meal, you're spiking insulin levels, which is a fat storage hormone for one, and then the main point is that you're putting sugar in your system all the time. That can lead to type 2 diabetes, and various other health issues. It's highly linked with cardiovascular issues, so heart attacks, atherosclerosis, plaque in your arteries. A high-fat diet does not clog your arteries. It's shown that it's the sugar and the inflammation that can damage the inside of your arteries, and then it's the cholesterol that comes in to heal the damage. So, having cholesterol at the scene of the crime doesn't mean that it caused the crime. Cholesterol's there because of the sugar that can damage your arteries. So just be wary of having carbs, and most importantly, fruit, sugar, any kind of carbohydrate every meal, because you can have that constant high blood sugar level, which can lead to diabetes, damage your arteries, etc. Okay, so take these points home. If you've got any questions on this, because it is, for some people, when you say don't eat fruit when you've been brought up all your life, I'm not saying don't eat fruit, I'm just saying be aware of the detriments of fruit for health and fat loss, and how you can put in vegetables and other food sources to replace if you're worried about not getting the vitamins and minerals and micronutrients. Okay, so this is Rob at Optimal Bodies. We're sponsored by Damn Fitness, so check them out at damnfitness.com. Any questions on this? I do like to have little debates and try and put my point further forward. But if people have got anything that they think fruits really benefit for that I haven't mentioned, I'm really welcome your comments. So private message me or comment on this video, Facebook, etc. Okay, please like and share my page. Share this video if you want to see more things along these topics. I like talking about controversial stuff because it seems to get people, so it gets few people fired up and they want to have a talk about it, and some people might be that light bulb moment where they're like, oh, well, I'm on this all banana diet, or I'm having fruit every meal and nothing's happening. So drop it for a couple of weeks and see what happens. Okay, cheers guys.